at this cover of this book that's in front of you, and I see a frisbee, a flashlight, I see some blades on this girl's legs, pinwheel, bike helmet, think for a second, what do you think each of these items has in common? So we'll have Logan and Davey. You're going to be partners, so turn and talk. What do you think those items have in common? And then we'll have Peyton and Reese, they'll be partners. What do you think they have in common?
No, those people that make it in the blades all help the people do something. Raw materials. Yeah. How does the frisbee help someone do something? These all help somebody do work. How does a frisbee help someone do work? And a pin.
Well, but it's a great start. So, okay, so that's great. Good talk. Here's what's in common. They're all made of a synthetic material that we use almost every single day.
Plastic?
It's plastic. Yeah, they're all made of plastic. And that's what this book is. It's about a miracle material. The blades? I don't know. It must be a tough plastic. So, did you know plastic is fairly new? In the year 2000, when they went down below the ocean and they found the Titanic, they found all kinds of things, jewelry, coins, shoes, nothing was made of plastic. Everything they pulled up from the bottom of the ocean, none of it was made of plastic. So plastic is a fairly new synthetic material. That means it's not made from anything natural. It's put together in a chemistry lab. And now we use it all the time. So this book, we're going to learn a little bit about plastic, how it's made, and what it is. And here's what we're going to be using this book for. I'm going to teach you a note-taking strategy called Keyword. And here's how it works, and I'll show you exactly. As you're reading along, if you find a word that you think is key to helping you understand and remember the passage, I'm going to have you write it down on a sticky and then put it right on your paper. All right? And we're going to load that paper up with some key words. So let me show you exactly what you're going to do, and then I'm going to let you do some reading. So we're not going to read the whole book. Instead, what we're going to do, if you will go to your table of contents, you see the up arrow? Use your table of contents. Instead, we are going to move right to, let me see if I can find it here, page 12 and 13. So if you will go to page 12 and 13, it's called The Science of Plastics. All right, did you find it? It should look something like this.
Yep.
All right. So, again, I'm thinking, how are plastics made? What are some great elements of plastic? When I find something I think is key, I'm going to write it down. So, follow along. There it is. Perfect. And then you can do your down arrow, and that'll make your screen large. There you go. Okay, so let me show you exactly what you're going to do. I'll do the first paragraph for you, and then we'll do a second one together, okay? So I'm reading right at the top. I'm thinking, what are some keywords to help me remember this passage? All right, so follow along with me. Plastics are polymers. A polymer is a chain of molecules. In plastics, the polymer chains can repeat themselves millions of times. Engineers and chemists experiment with these polymer chains in the lab, changing them in various ways to make hundreds of different types of plastics. Okay, so let me pause right there for just a second. I'm going to go back and look at that passage again because it's a lot of information. I need to slow it down here. Let me reread. Plastics are polymers. A polymer is a chain of molecules. In plastics, the polymer chains can repeat themselves millions of times. Engineers and chemists experiment with these polymer chains in the lab, changing them in various ways to make hundreds of different types of plastic. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I think is important. I'm going to write down the word. Let me flip this over for just a second. I'm going to write down the word polymer. For one thing, it's bolded, so I know it's important. But here's the other thing about a polymer. Plastics are polymers, right? They're chains of molecules, okay? And what you do is you change up all those change, and that's how you get different plastics. So I'm going to do that. All right? So I'm going to stick it right on my paper here. All right. No, let's do the next one together. All right? So I'm looking at the second column, the first paragraph. Okay? Think, what's important? Polymers, or giant molecules, are made by chemically combining smaller molecules known as monomers. If just the right monomers are combined, a reaction takes place that makes the monomers cluster together or polymerize.
Monomers.
Why do you think that's important? It's bolded, but why did the author bold it for you? What does he want you to know?
So you would get the, like, see what that kind of this paragraph is about.
Right. And so why is a monomer important? Why would I write that down?
Because that's are made of.
Because that's what a polymer is made of, and a plastic is a
Polymer.
polymer. Oh, so smart. So I'm going to write monomer. All right. And I put it on my sticky and just stick it right here on my paper. So here's what I can do. I can use the keywords now to help me remember. A plastic is a polymer, which is a chain of molecules. Monomers cluster together to make polymers. And then we change the polymers to make different types of plastics. Tough reading. Okay, so now, here's what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you continue to read types of plastics. Do you see it there on the second page? And as you're reading, I'm going to give you some Post-its. When you find some keywords that you think are important to helping you remember and understand plastics, write it on the keyword, and then we'll talk about it. We'll see what you thought was important, okay? And we'll share some information with each other, okay? So off you go, and as you're reading, I'm going to come around behind you, and I'm going to write down some really good things I see you doing, okay? So off you go. Just go ahead and read. If you need more, I've got more. No worries. No worries. Okay, Reese. Let me see what you've got down already. What do you have? What did you think was important here?
These are the two groups that plastics can be divided into.
Smart thinking. Smart thinking. So now let's read a little bit more and see what's a thermoset and what's a thermoplastic. Can you read a little bit for me?
Thermosets can be heated and molded only once. If they are reheated, they will scorch and burn. Thermosets can tolerate high temperatures. They are used for such things as pot handles, plastic seats on buses, and various parts of airplanes and spacecraft.
Okay, so let's pause there. You were smart in just reading a tiny bit. What's important here that we probably should make a note about? A good strategy to go back and reread it again because it's tough information. You might have to look at it more than one time.
There's actually notes right here. She put the thing that looks like a scroll bar. It's notes.
I think that they can tolerate high temperatures.
Okay, so we could put high temp. That might be a good keyword. And why would that be important? Because what are we using thermosets for?
For pot handles, plastic seats on bus, and various airplanes and spacecraft.
So something, a plastic that has to tolerate heat, which would not be glasses, right? All right, good. Let's put that down. Good for you.